Call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock. I had given Kerry a couple of comments. Does anybody else have any comments on the minutes?
I do not.
John?
Neither do I.
All right. I will accept the motion.
Did she make the changes?
She said she did. I didn't just. Okay, line. Yeah, looks like she did.
I'll make a motion to accept the meeting minutes of September 16th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No opposed.
None.
Nice when it's not opposed. That's for you. Number 2. Okay, warrants and abatements, you can keep, you sign them all, right?
Yep.
That to you, and I'll do them at the end, so we don't hold things up. James Hoyt is not here. So we'll call to go into executive session, or look for a motion to go into executive session.
He's not here.
Oh, I thought it might be in the back somewhere, so it would be on camera.
No,
Wait.
I would tell him to stay.
Okay, no, I just thought you might have had him out of sight for now.
No,
All right, we will skip that for now.
hopefully he remembers. I should go find his thing and maybe call him.
Yeah, give him a call, if you would.
Is that the only applicant we have?
Oh, we got another one actually gonna be interviewing tomorrow,
Okay.
but we have the 2 openings.
Yeah.
So we wanna try to get them both
Yep.
filled. Okay, old business, there's nothing new on the ZBA appeal. And we'll wait for Wayne to come back on the 2 stations in Walnut Street tank, so we'll skip to the Communications Committee. Dylan, is there anything to report on that?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Okay, the water bills for Easton, you guys saw that letter that was going back and forth?
I did.
I don't know, I'm assuming it wasn't sent. It was supposed to go out under my signature, so you guys, throw myself under the bus. But I haven't gotten it back. I don't know if Kerry was waiting for comments or...
The last draft I saw looked good to me.
I said, yeah, that looked.
All right, I'll ask if Wayne doesn't have a copy of it ready to sign from her, I'll check in with her tomorrow, that's all.
Okay.
So we can get that thing out. And on the job posting, we did put out a second posting, had a reply to it, so we have somebody who'll be interviewing tomorrow
Okay.
to see about filling the last open position that we have.
With you and Wayne?
Wayne and I tomorrow morning. And we'll see how that works. I was all of a sudden, a couple of people, did come in. The guy that we had, that assumed he remembered, that we'll see him tonight, he actually seemed real good
Okay.
and real interested, so hopefully he makes it in. And we will be waiting for Wayne to come back in, and we'll go over the other old business items. Pass me one or two, you've already signed. While we're waiting,
Initial. I was on the tougher list than that one.
you are, that's not right. Every time, the one that kills you, the chemical bill,
Mhm.
every single time. ex-neighbor overpaid his water bill.
Went to voicemail. I left her a message.
It's not good. Everything's all right.
I mean, he met with Linda and,
Yeah,
Wanted
I
to go ahead.
went back through my emails to make sure that I had told her, and, yeah,
and he definitely got told.
yes.
Right, well, moving right along then, hopefully he will come back. Anything to report on the project out here?
No, they're supposed to be submitting this week, I believe, so.
Yes, without the plans.
Right, without the plans, or the plans at 50%, I forget how he said he was gonna do it.
But he'd already had it okayed by DEP to do it that way.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I guess we're the only ones that jumped through the hurdles to get the last ones.
yeah, everyone else missed the deadlines and
Right.
it didn't matter anyway, so we'll see what happens on that. Anything else on Manley Street? I know that they were
They have
moving
not,
behind,
yeah,
so they haven't gotten out there yet.
no. So they're paying for a bond, because I got the thing from the bonds insurance company asking about progress. I'm like, well, what progress?
Paperwork.
Yeah,
Well, the bonding companies take that stuff pretty seriously.
no, and they're paying for it, so it's,
Yeah. Okay. In general, everything working over there right now for,
yes, everything's working fine. We took we're up to 6 for PFAS level again. So I'll try to remember, write myself a note somewhere, call James and say, maybe we want to open it up and just look in, drain it.
see if it's starting to do it again.
Yeah, because we've changed how we backwash, so we're making sure that nothing's on line, it's not getting any water that it shouldn't get.
And you're doing the air scour each
Yeah.
time, I think it is. Yep.
What was the PFAS level before when you noticed there was a problem? Was that,
It was climbing, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see it going up, and it shouldn't
Yeah.
be if the media is not, I mean,
right, if the media's not plugged.
yeah, if the media is used up, it shouldn't be climbing, it should be
Right.
jumping. So it's gotta be something with that, whatever's causing that on the top of the
Yeah.
filter. Yeah, so let him,
And then I'll let them make a call, because I don't want to mess with it. And,
no, but let him know, because
Yeah.
they've gotta get that pinned down for this thing to get
Right.
approved final to use that media.
if we're following it out, and we need to know why. And I've had Brendan doing testing, so we know nothing's getting to it. He's done specific tests to watch,
Oh,
showing the length
pulling
of the
samples.
backwash, yeah. So we know it's not seeing anything.
Right, something else is going on then. All right, as long as we get them out there. Walnut Street tank?
I have not made it up there yet, but there's, to check the fittings. But we have the article from several years back, and then we kind of put a stop to it. So articles can't be held and spent against forever. Technically, or generally, it's done within 2 years, so you can bond it out. So we've reached that point where we have to decide, you either go forward with it, or you close the article and eventually go back to town for the article.
This is the one for doing the altitude valves down the
Yeah.
other tanks and doing that.
Yeah, because Scott called and he wanted to know what was going on. And we have so much else on the
Well, I would
plate.
say that plus what's going on with the rates, how close are we as far as operationally floating the tanks? Are we getting a decent, because I know part of the reason was to try to increase that level of Walnut.
Right, and by adding a few feet to the shutdown of the thing, it's brought it up a little bit. So we're moving it about 4 or 5 feet now instead of 18 inches, so it's been okay, it's held a residual.
Okay.
As
How
we
many
go into
feet?
winter and the people around it stop sprinkling their lawns, then it'll slow down a bit, but,
How far below overflow are we?
oh, we're always,
Still a ways,
Yeah.
because that's what that'd buy us with the altitude valves.
right.
When does Scott need an answer on what we,
Almost immediately, I guess. Because he has to do his short-term, the bans or the short-term loans, because we pay short-term on the money that we have used until they bond out for the whole thing.
How much was that? Do you remember?
I want to say it was like 700,000 or 670,000. I can't stress enough that you need to start retaining your employees.
well, that one doesn't count because we
I know,
actually have.
but like I'm reaching the end and the things that I
Yeah.
know are gonna go with me. Not that I'm leaving town or not ever gonna answer anything, but I can tell you that when things go wrong, they go horribly wrong. And that Thursday morning, when things went very horribly wrong, there were a lot of errors made. And I know the contract is set and things should have been changed before that. You're not paying enough to retain people or attract people. Like you just heard it again, and I know you've heard it from the guy on the street that time when he was digging, telling you you don't pay enough. And I get it, but somehow you have to sit with the selectmen and tell them that you can't, either that or they're gonna start hearing quality complaints, and remember that a lot of our people have gone to other jobs,
Yeah.
and they still talk with our people, and the places they've gone pay more than we pay, and have less costly benefits. I'm not complaining or anything.
No, but we've heard it before. You haven't,
I know I'm like a broken record, and I try not to say it repeatedly. So
you have an idea of what the other towns around us?
They're all about
Okay.
you gotta come up about $5 an hour, and you gotta change the title.
See, I think it would be a legitimate answer to explain to the selectmen. I mean, these guys are licensed. It's not like it's you get somebody with,
It's not,
Basic
but
knowledge.
everything that we
But you get
do is
licensed. You get
5
licensed.
feet in the ground. So in some cases, it's what you remember that you saw 10 years back to know how to fix something in the
Yeah.
future. And also the characteristics of the system and how it operates. There's a lot of things that play out. It's not, you can't just hire somebody in and, yep, it's treatment plant. No, because you have the other side that's hidden.
Yeah, you're not just hiring treatment plant operators.
Right.
Because we're not set up, we're not big enough, we're not set up that way. They gotta be system and working out in the distribution
Right.
system.
so are
And
we,
and the other issue is the cost of the benefits, where we're in that smaller
Right.
pool, then that takes a bigger cut out of the pay to begin with.
Right.
so what is the technician rate comparable to another position in town? Is it the same as the highway? Is that?
They're exactly the
They're
same.
the same.
But they pretty much watch people do stuff. We don't have that luxury. We don't have the deep pockets and can pay for people to come and do our work for us. We do the work. Like we were up on Church and West Center the other day, digging away. When things didn't go, they were what we thought they were, but we couldn't do it that way because the bonnet style was different. We had to cut the gate out and install a new one. And we did that within another hour and, like another hour and a half extra work. I can't say I drove over the patch today. I wasn't happy with that. But that, I believe they're gonna grind past that when they resurface.
Well, as far as when they do the
Yeah.
road. Assuming it gets to that point before the winter.
Right.
All right, no, we'll have, if we're not able to get new hires in, I mean, you're gonna lose people sometimes if they go into a higher title or something.
Right.
And that, there's gonna obviously be more pay, but.
Yeah.
He seemed interested in the job
Yep.
when we were talking to him,
Right.
so. But you could tell too by you can't fault him for going for more.
No, I can't.
From
He
what
sounded
way?
like he would have been he felt like a good fit,
Yeah.
but there's nothing I can do.
All right. We'll have to see.
And after we went through what happened with Brian,
Let's not
I
talk about
wouldn't,
salaries or anything here, any personnel.
yeah.
Well, no, but
Yeah,
we'll have to figure something out and get on the selectmen's
Yep.
agenda and
absolutely.
try to see what we can work out, because it's getting thought we found that one pretty quick
Yeah.
and would have been a good fit. But
So there's another interview that
did he say it was a municipal or if it was a company,
It sounded like a private company.
private?
In some cases, like I've sat with them guys in classes before, and in some cases, they do pay very well. And they have really good benefits too, so.
No, you can't necessarily compete with those, but we should
No.
need to be competitive with towns around here.
Yep.
All right. And we have an interview scheduled tomorrow,
Yeah. At
11 o'clock, right?
Yep. Yeah, I set an alarm so I wouldn't forget.
Well, it won't be a long one, because I gotta head to Sturbridge from there, so.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah,
Yeah, go through it and see what he says, and
Yeah.
it really shouldn't take long.
no,
Between give him an idea of what's there and get a feel for what he knows and
yep,
what he doesn't. All right, we already talked about the communications committee, there was no update there. Kerry was sending around that letter to go to, about the water meter.
yeah, so
Meetings
there
in
are
Easton.
a pile of things coming up. So I explained to the guys this morning what they're looking for when they get there.
Now, did she send the letter already?
Yes,
Okay, 'cause I thought she had set it up for me to sign.
I think she asked and then, but I'm pretty sure they got mailed out.
Okay,
Because they were asking why there's a whole pile of things on Turnpike Street. That's why I explained to them what they were looking for.
so they basically got a good response from them, people wanting to let them in?
I know there's a few people. I didn't look at the calendar specifically and count how many, but so far, and after that, we'll just start doing knocking.
Okay. Because they'll have gotten the letter anyway.
Right.
All right. And we'll be, hopefully get that in time for the next billing cycle
Yeah.
and have it all squared away. Because Badger has to actually help get it set up once we have that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Badger or it's their Stiles, who is their representative in the area.
Okay. All right, then we got the new labor position, which we will be talking to tomorrow. I thought we were actually gonna have a few things to hear on the Taylor and Howard projects. Have you heard anything back from the guys at Lincoln Street since the last set of emails?
I haven't heard anything other than they pressure tested so he could put down, as he was all upset about getting his binder code. And I'm like, you're already ahead, because technically your water was supposed to come from West Center Street, so you're ahead of schedule, buddy. He pressure tested, and he did it isolated from our system, so he has a peace of mind. We didn't witness it because we didn't have time, and they haven't called us back to witness it.
But the line in the road itself had already been pressure tested and,
So we're pressure tested from South Elm up to where it turns into their plant.
yeah, where the connection is.
Yeah, after that, everything else nothing's tested, except inside of the building itself.
And they haven't started laying anything from West Center Street down, have they?
I believe that when they thought that they couldn't work in the street, which I never said that they couldn't, I just told them our response is gonna be slower because we're working night and day. I believe that they picked up where SLT had left off and brought that up to where you see the construction going on. Right now, I think they're still doing drainage out on West Center because the road patch doesn't look like it's moved yet.
Now, last time I drove by there, that's what they were doing, was drainage. It wasn't-
And I think they're still working on that.
But they have Maine close up so that when they can't, they shouldn't take them too long to make the
No,
connection.
at this
going
point,
across.
they've crossed over us, so now it's just a straight run down until they turn.
Okay.
I mean, technically, this is a private job, but it has nothing to do with us. It has more to do with them. The benefit is not to us, it's to them, because they're only replacing a section of, between West and Crescent Street. So they're gonna require, their tie-ins are gonna occur at night. Those are gonna be long things. We're almost done flushing because we're gonna have to bacteria sample for the month, so. I'm probably gonna send them another email and say I need a 2 weeks heads up and then a 1 week's heads up before you plan on doing those tie-ins, because they're gonna require a lot of gate closing.
And, well, the gates that you just fixed, is that one of the ones that's gonna have to close? Do we
Yeah,
we know the gates should work.
Yeah, it works. So the other thing is that truly they have taken the gate operator out and they've operated the gates, but they don't understand how to operate the gate machine. They were just running it up and down at its minimum torque setting, which is great, it makes it operate up and down, but you don't clear out the sediment or the tuberculation under the valve seat. So when I did it, it was probably the first time the town had done, we literally ripped apart about 8 gates in town because they'd never been operated in their life. But you have to increase the torque. Once you've run it up and down a couple of times, you see it, you start watching it, records the amount of turns to the decimal point. So you start watching that, and then you start increasing your torque, watching for an increase or that it's settled out and you're all set, you've cleared it.
Yeah, then you know you've gotten through.
Right, which they didn't do. They didn't understand that part.
But they're good now.
Well, I'll take them out again. So they've been operated like 3 times now, but not in the correct fashion. We know when we opened up that gate, we didn't have a positive shutdown either, so we know the water was coming from the market basket side, which we knew before we opened it, but in the middle of the construction, I'm not trying to break anything else. So we just worked around it.
So tuberculation is the material that gathers where the seat of the valve goes into the valve body?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, the rusty stuff.
That's tuberculation.
yeah, well, it looks like rocks inside of the water main, and eventually it's the minerals deposit, and it
No,
looks
I
like,
get it. I get it.
literally it looks like rocks.
That's not in the plumbing
And
lingo.
And it builds up over time to close out, it closes the entire pipe.
Now, those newer valves, resilient seats, or are they the old?
So the one we just cut out was the older, so resilient wedge gate valve. So we just put it in a resilient seat, so we know we'll have a positive shutdown,
Okay.
at least between those 2 gates. We'll have to reach back down to Prospect Street, depending upon how they tie in, or cut off, because at some point they have to cut and cap the 6-inch as it comes up West Center,
Yeah.
the part that they're gonna abandon.
But definitely, make sure you give them the warning, but,
Yeah,
give them, you want the notice and make them give
Right.
you the notice, because that's the cooperation level with individual there is not good.
So we've had other buildings go up in the same time frames. I've had dealings with them from 7 Manley Street to here to
Yeah.
21 Lincoln. And yeah, there's a little bit more at 21 Lincoln, but to log almost 50 calls from them when I get about 10 or less from all the other buildings going up, somehow they think we work for them and they've got the wrong understanding.
And they haven't tried to test the fire pumps off that.
I won't allow
How
that.
can they, they're only tied into what, an 8-inch line south?
Right, they can't do it because they can't do it out of a tanker truck. It just won't take the flow. I mean, if you drop my system under 20 PSI, then
Yeah.
you can't do that either.
No, and that, now, without coming in off West Center, that's a long way around to get the
Yeah.
rubber up to them.
Yep.
So, no, they don't, it just seemed like maybe the reason they all of a sudden were able to not just put the pipe in, but go all the way and make the connection might have been because they wanted to try to push
Yeah,
and,
well, I kinda got the
Yeah.
feeling he thought that he was gonna be all set from here on out. And I'm like, yeah, that's not how it's gonna work.
You mean with the connection on itself?
Yeah. I'm like, it's not gonna supply enough.
Not at all.
but that's shut off now from the
Yes,
system.
yep.
So, we shouldn't have to worry about it. Well, if it is, and he's giving you a hard time, send it to me.
Yep.
This is getting kinda stupid,
Right.
the way some of the stuff is gone. And we can't let them just do what they want and
Right.
try to get this thing going. Okay, Dylan, anything you wanna bring up under new business?
Did you have a chance to look at that puddle at Lincoln and Southtown? No?
No, I know I wrote
We're
that.
keeping an eye on it. It's there every morning, and I think the asphalt's getting a little bit more depressed.
Is that right near where they made the connection?
Right when they crossed over from the east side of Lincoln Street over to Southtown, goes
Yeah.
diagonal across. The right side, there's a depression, and there's a puddle there every morning, even when it's gone days without raining. And I don't think those people water. I don't think they have much of a
So
water on that side.
it's on the side that you're on, or is it on
The opposite side,
The opposite side, the TP. They used to have a TP all the time out there.
the TP side.
Right,
Yeah.
the TPOs.
All right. It'll be on the calendar.
Anything else? John?
I do. All right, so Scotland Street, there are 2 house lots that are gonna be built up there. So he wants to tie into water, but between paying for somebody, because he has to cross the street, in infrared, they're asking if they can do 1 tap and run 1.5 inches across. Once it crosses the street, tee it off to 2 1-inch lines with the curb stop on each lot. So that he only has to cross the street once.
How far
Whereabouts?
up's gone?
So that's why I was trying to bring up the map, but the map, it's all grayed out, so it's not gonna come up. He's up almost to the Cohasset or Metacomet. He's almost up that far.
Some of those are well up there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
the
of
other
the
side,
people
yeah.
up there are well, once you get beyond that development, except for one person on the other side. The ones that had the connections run to them, they've never asked to tie in.
What's his hardship?
The cost, he'll switch over to wells if he can't.
No, I don't support that cost.
All right, I can tell you in the old days, that's how they did do it. Because if you, on North Elm, you'll see there are a few spots where the one line comes across and they didn't upsize it.
Yeah.
And then you feed 3 houses.
No, I don't, everybody would use cost. I mean, next thing you know, you have a 2-inch line supplying a subdivision, 12 houses on the row. And
So then I'll ask their other question that they've,
What's the,
I'm just one vote.
yeah, to put 2 1-inch lines in the same trench.
Is that a problem?
No, because
You
they'll
don't have the
be,
5 feet separation.
right, it'll be noted in the drawing that it's that way, so anybody who digs in there will know you're digging at 2 lines instead of 1. So it'll be shown on the drawing.
and they'll each have their own connection to the main.
Right, they each have their own
Taps
tap.
will be far enough, that's a cast iron,
Up there, no, it's
Inside.
transite.
translate.
Yeah, so
So
they'll each have their
saddle
own
and tap.
saddle.
I don't have a problem with doing 2 separate ones, like that, 1 inch all the way to the lot.
Yeah.
How about you?
I have no issue with that.
Can I get a motion?
Motion for the 2 separate tappings
In 1 trench.
in 1 trench.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. MPA testing, so we got the results back from our second round. We're not under the influence. We have some
I would-
pollen, but that's about it.
I was hoping you were gonna say that when you brought that up at the end. And, well, we're still in compliance on everything with the PFAS, we just had that one that comes.
Right, we're
came
still
up.
under 10 is the action level.
Yeah, so we're still below, we don't have any issues
Right,
with
we
that.
don't have any issues.
As long as we can keep it operationally, because it
And
went
so-
right back down to 0.
Yeah, immediately after we did that with the tank, so I don't know
Yeah.
whether it's built up. That's why I'd like to look in, but I wanna ask them first and they might wanna be there to see it.
We should, considering the implications if the stuff's not working for some other reason, but
Yeah.
that weird gel on the top is
Yeah.
just something odd. Anything else?
No, I think that covers it all.
Good job last week for that
Yeah.
cluster you had up there on,
That was a pain.
yeah, well, good job, you and the guys.
It went, they're just short of taking the bolts out, and I'm counting the bolts in the top of the gate, and, all right, and then I go over and count the bolts, because I just want to make sure everything.
We're gonna swap
And
them
then
out.
I realized there's a lot more bolts. And I'm looking, because we could see both, because there were two gates there, and I could see the other gate is the other style, because it was a different, the whole top looks different.
Yeah.
But because you battle in traffic, you battle in cars trying to come drive over you, it's like, and that's when I spot it and go, oh, we're done.
Just cut a new one in.
Right, well, I called Holdleys and they don't stock them no more, so he's like, well, you can reach out to other water, no, we're open. The fastest thing is to cut it out, and that's when we just switch gears and went a different
And we
route.
keep the valves on site anyway.
Right,
So,
well, we had the valve there, I just had to run to get the rest of the parts to cut it out.
Yeah, good job.
did you replace that valve out of our stuff in the yard? So we have extra
Yeah.
valves,
Yep,
just in case. Puddle. Everything's signed.
it's gonna be hard to see because we've gotten rain for the first time.
Right.
We've just kept a pretty big puddle right out in the
Oh, in
street
the
here.
end, I didn't think it rained that much. Usually that only floods half the street. It went all the way across this time.
It rained, apparently rained pretty good
This morning it
various
poured.
parts of the day.
Yeah.
So, as long as it's not coming up from our stuff,
Yeah.
that's good. And if that one is for Lincoln and South Elm, that should be on.
That's on them to
Yeah.
fix.
That was the other thing I wanted to ask. Did you put together cost for all this time you guys had to spend out chasing all that damage they did?
I haven't, I know what parts they owe us. I didn't know whether to chase him for the money for our time or not.
Yes.
Yes.
Put in the money for the time, put in the money for any parts, any materials we used. Was there details involved?
No, because they would have the details at that point.
All right. No, basically, anything that we hit as a cost associated with that
Yeah.
should be put into the list for what they owe us. Because that's, that was their damage, it wasn't,
Right.
it wasn't like something of ours just popped.
Yep.
If there's nothing else, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, next meeting. Crap, always do that. That's what we need Kerry here for, she automatically reminds us before we get that far.
Sorry.
Okay, so the next meeting is...
21st.
Okay, why is it trying to give me a Wi-Fi connection that I don't want? And the 21st is an actual, yes, not a holiday.
Yep, no, the holidays in between.
Okay. 21st at 5 o'clock here. And just check with James in the meantime if he's gonna be here and what about the contracts there too.
Yep.
Like you said, I thought we were supposed to be on there. All right, thank you very much.